The message arrived while he was standing in the checkout line at the pharmacy, holding a bottle of allergy medicine and a pack of gum he didn't really want. "Wish you were here. Ipool is amazing." He read it twice, then once more without really seeing the words. Around him, people shifted and sighed. A child tugged at his mother's sleeve. The cashier glanced up, bored. He typed back slowly. "Looks nice? Enjoy. Enjoy." He put the phone away and paid. Outside, the afternoon heat pressed against his face. He sat in his car for a moment before turning the engine on, letting the air conditioner hum. It wasn't that he didn't miss her. It was that missing her had started to feel theoretical, like remembering a place you used to live but no longer recognized. At home, he dropped the bag on the kitchen counter and opened his laptop. He'd planned to finish a report for work. Instead, his banking app refreshed automatically. That was when he saw it. 6240, Serenity Cove Resort, couples spa package. He stared at the screen. At first, his brain tried to correct it. A glitch. A pending duplicate. Some delayed charge from months ago. He refreshed. It stayed. He leaned back in his chair, fingers laced behind his head, and closed his eyes. For a long time, he had been practicing not reacting. When small withdrawals appeared, she always had explanations. Client dinners, emergency travel, you know how finance is. When he hesitated, she'd smile and say, "You trust me, right?" He always said yes. When he once asked why their savings weren't growing anymore, she laughed and called him old-fashioned. When he noticed receipts missing, she said he was being paranoid. He learned the rhythm. Question, discomfort, apology. Eventually, he skipped the first step. So when he opened his eyes and saw the charge again, something in him didn't explode. It settled. He scrolled back. There it was. Another charge last month. Smaller. A luxury boutique. Then a private driver. Then a hotel upgrade. All threaded together like a story he had pretended not to read. He typed a message. "Enjoy the hotel. The $6 240 couples spa charge just hit our account. My lawyer has the receipt." He stared at it for a full minute before sending. The phone stayed quiet. An hour passed. Then 2. He worked mechanically, finished his report, ate leftover rice standing at the counter. The silence stretched. At 9:47 p.m., her reply came. "What? That's a mistake. I'll fix it." Why would you talk to a lawyer? No apology, no explanation, just inconvenience. He didn't answer. Instead, he opened the email thread with the attorney he had contacted that afternoon, a woman recommended by a colleague who specialized in financial exposure in marriages. He had framed it as just understanding options. She had responded quickly, calmly, professionally. Send documentation. Don't escalate emotionally. Protect yourself first. He forwarded the screenshot. That night, he slept lightly, not from panic, from awareness. 3 days later, he was at work when his phone rang from an unknown number. He almost let it go to voicemail. "Hello? Is this Daniel Harris?" "Yes, this is Mark Whitfield, CEO of Meridian Consulting." He recognized the name. Her company. "I'm calling regarding a corporate account irregularity that has been traced to a personal expense connected to your wife." There was a pause, breathing on the other end. "We need to resolve this immediately," Mark continued. "We understand you've retained legal counsel. I'm hoping we can speak candidly." Daniel leaned back in his chair. The office around him buzzed softly. Keyboards, printers, normal life. "What do you want to know?" he asked. "We need confirmation of the charge and whether you intend to pursue further action." He thought of the spa description. Rose petals, private suites, champagne, couples. "I intend to protect myself," Daniel said. "That's all." Another pause. I'm asking as a courtesy, Mark said quietly. This could become serious. Daniel felt something shift inside him. Not triumph, not satisfaction. Relief. I'm aware, he replied. They hung up after 10 minutes. He didn't feel powerful. He felt grounded. When she came home a week later, her suitcase rolled loudly across the tile, as if announcing itself. She looked thinner, tired. Her smile was cautious. "Hi," she said. "Hi." They stood in the living room, neither moving toward the other. "I didn't mean for it to get so complicated," she began. "It was supposed to be reimbursed. It always is, was it?" he asked. She hesitated. "It usually works out," he nodded. "That's not an answer." They sat at opposite ends of the couch. She talked about pressure, about expectations, about how she felt entitled after years of carrying everything. He listened. He didn't interrupt. When she finished, she looked at him, waiting. "I believe you were stressed," he said. "I also believe you hid it from me." She looked down. "I'm separating our finances," he continued, "and I'm following my lawyer's advice." Her eyes widened. "So that's it." "I don't know what it is yet," he said honestly. "But I'm done pretending nothing's wrong." The company suspended her 2 weeks later. Not fired. Not publicly shamed. Just quietly removed from projects. The consequences arrived in paperwork and awkward silences. Friends didn't know what to say. Neither did he. They moved into separate rooms, then separate apartments. Some nights, he missed her fiercely. Other nights, he slept better than he had in years. Months later, walking home from work, he passed the same pharmacy where he'd read her text. He paused outside, watching people come and go. His phone buzzed, not from her. A message from his attorney. "Accounts finalized. You're clear." He put the phone in his pocket and kept walking. He didn't feel victorious. He felt lighter, still uncertain, still sad, still imperfect, but no longer invisible to himself. And that, quietly, felt like enough.